In the name of Jesus, I command. Oh, it's playing. Hey guys, just letting you know, Attorney Shequel Ross here, back. Basically, going to talk to you about your traffic stop rights. I've gotten a lot of cases recently about Uber. I have clients who are basically either passengers in an Uber car in the back seat, either ride sharing with other people as a passenger in an Uber or Lyft car. And basically, I think that it's very important that I address whether or not someone's rights diminish depending on if you are in an Uber car or a cab. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about. I've gotten a lot of requests to talk about Uber. I've gotten a couple of calls this week saying that people have gotten traffic tickets or been asked to step out of a car during their Uber ride. No. So, first of all, let's just start with the introduction. Have you guys heard this song? I know you have. So yeah, basically, we have a Travis Scott and the other artist there in the background talking about Uber everywhere. Uber is everywhere, So I know I have a large audience, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, and I want to address what is Uber. Some 50-year-olds might know, some 60-year-olds may not, some 70-year-olds. I can't assume that everybody knows even what an Uber is, because the definition really of Uber, is colossal. But I'm talking about it in terms of a car. So basically, what is Uber? After you dial in on your phone or after you go to this app and you prepay, they come and get you at a location. And it's like a cab service. It's a personal, on-site, app-driven cab service. And I want to talk to you about what is rideshare. So now Uber, what they have is, so let's say, for example, I go onto my, Midtown, or let's say if I'm coming out of, basically the store, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to get an Uber. Uber will come to where I'm located. Now, Uber now has what is called a rideshare app. So what that means is, if you are going to a certain location and you are requesting an Uber, Uber will pair you up with somebody that's going in the same direction as you, right? So basically, the interesting thing is you don't know who you're getting in the car with. You don't know who Uber has paired you up with. I might, after I say, okay, I want to go from Atlanta, Coca-Cola Center in Atlanta to South DeKalb Mall, right? So along the way, Uber has already matched me up because I'm ride sharing. I'm sharing a ride and we're splitting it. I don't know who's going to get in my car. So it pairs you with riders who basically are headed in the same directions with you. They match you with riders. It's not a personality match test. It's not do you do drugs and I don't do drugs test. You don't know who you're getting in the car with. So basically, I wanted to address this because I've gotten like a horrendous amount of calls about people getting in cars with Uber. So with Uber drivers, with Uber passengers, and I just wanted to address this. So basically Uber, I did a lot of research on this to let you guys know, and Uber, they have something on their website that's called Uber Ride Safety, right? You're thinking that you're safe. Uber, they have something, their technology is very, close knit. They go to extreme measures to make sure that your phone number is anonymous. The driver who is actually picking you up can't all of a sudden the next day start calling you. They make sure that your phone number is anonymous. The second thing they do is a GPS data log. So basically, if a driver picks me up and I know from here to Blue Flame is 10 minutes from downtown Atlanta, they're monitoring this. They're seeing where that Uber driver is taking me. If they're taking me on some long route around in Phoenix, it would be called I-17 or I-10, but in Atlanta, 285, they're monitoring to see if the driver is taking me the shortest route. They also have what's called a assist law enforcement type of investigation or things like that, where issues happen. They said that they will cooperate with the police in regards to anything that happens. But guess what they don't have, right? They don't have anything on their website. And excuse me if I didn't see every single thing, but I did a couple of searches on this, and my team did too. There's nothing on their website that talks about traffic stops, right? They have something about phones, they have something about safety, and they have something about GPS. Why isn't there anything to assist passengers when it comes to getting traffic stopped when you're in the back seat of an unknown car with a driver, or ride sharing with someone that you don't know that could potentially have drugs on them, right? So I wanted to address that fourth issue as an attorney. So let's imagine this scenario. We're driving down the street. I call Uber. I get in the car. I'm in the back seat of the Uber car. Along the way, Uber pairs me up with somebody. I'm in the car. They're in the car. And the Uber driver gets into an accident, right? So I had a scenario this week where the officer pulls over the Uber driver, and all of a sudden he's asking my guy who's sitting in the back seat to get out the car so he could be searched. No, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop. What do they call it when you're on scene, when you're on set? Cut, right? Cut. No, cut that out. Stop getting out of the car. Stop consenting to be searched. Stop saying, yes, you can come and search me too. You're in the backseat of a cab. The only thing that the officer should be asking you for asking the passengers of that car for is the driver. He's the one that got into the accident. So the driver approaches my guy in the back seat and he's like, can you get out the car? My guy's like, okay, yeah. I'll get out the car. Yeah, you can search me. Now, granted, he did have things on him that he should not have had, but because you're in an Uber back seat, and the cop pulls the driver over for a traffic stop or running a red light or traffic violation, okay, now he could issue the driver a ticket. He does not need to come to the back seat or the window and say, roll your window down. I smell marijuana. Step out the car. No, we're not doing that. You remember 2 weeks ago, I told you guys about traffic stops. The Fourth Amendment protects you. Okay, so stop consenting to getting out of the car, especially if you know you have things on you that you shouldn't have on you in the first place. So I basically wanted to address this, and any questions that you guys have, you could start sending the questions in. I've been getting a lot of those questions, and I just want you to remember this throughout this this Q&A, throughout your ride in Uber and your ride in a car, you have certain rights. Whether you're the back seat of a car, whether you're in the front seat of a car, whether you're ride sharing, or if you're in a Maserati, it doesn't matter. You have protections that protect you. You do not have to consent to a search. You do not have to consent to get out. And it is what it is. So do we have some questions that are coming in?
We've got a comment on Facebook from Roddy Rod. He says, with a smiley face, I need you, sis. Then we've got Anthony Gamage, who just commented that Arizona passed a law where everyone in the car can be searched and questioned. So that must be something new.
Okay, so in regards to Arizona, you know, I'm from Arizona. We represent the other A, right? But hey, Rod, Maxino Bush, okay, and then Mr. Gamage. So let me explain something to you. There are 3 types of encounters with the police, right? There's tier number 1 when it comes to, that's regular police interaction. The Uber driver gets into the car, into an accident. The police officer comes up and basically, let's say the officer's asking you questions. Hey, Uber driver, why did you get into an accident? Hey, Shequel in the back seat middle, where are you on your way to? I don't have to answer your questions. That's tier 1 police encounters. It's just basic police encounters. There are 3 types of tiers. If he's asking me questions, I don't have to answer questions. Like if somebody asks me a question right now, I choose not to answer you. I don't have to answer your question. Tier number 2 is basically investigation type detention. If he's detaining you because reasonable suspicion, that maybe somebody in that Uber car smells like marijuana. Maybe he has reasonable suspicion to think that somebody in that Uber car was smoking marijuana. He approaches the Uber driver, smells marijuana. Yeah, potentially that's probable cause to get you guys out the car to search you. But he's going to ask you, can you step out the car? Will you step out the car? If it's a question, the answer is no. Okay? Then there's the third tier type of encounter, Mr. Gamage. The third tier is an arrest, right? But the arrest has to be based on probable cause. So if you're saying that Arizona passed a law that all passengers in an Uber car can be searched, I would have to look at whether or not that officer approaching that car had probable cause to search the people in the car. Bottom line is probable cause. Okay? I hope that answers your question. If not, ask me another question and I'll answer it again.
Also on Facebook, Jared Maupin says this is great info. He appreciates this.
Hey, Jared. Thank you.
On Instagram, lock_ness_boombox asks, do taxis and Uber or Lyft have significant different passenger protections in general?
Okay, so in regards to Uber and in regards to these cars that are now these personal private service type taxi, I'll come if you push an app. Basically, I did some research on this and they have what's called a safety. It's called, let me make sure I get the words right. It is called a ride safety section on their website. Like Uber, what they have is, it's called ride safety. You can go to Uber, put in / or / safety, and they talk about all the things that you should do to make yourself safe. When it comes to Uber driver, when it comes to Uber passengers, it even has things on there not to question the person next to you, not to do these things. But there's nothing talking about if you are in a Uber car and you get pulled over by the police. Does the police have probable cause to search you as a passenger in a cab? That's what I want you guys to focus on. It's whether or not they have probable cause to have you step out of the car because a crime is being committed. So I want you to stay focused on that. And if they're asking you whether or not you can step out the car, the answer is no. I'm in the back seat. Okay? Do we have another question? Okay. John from Philadelphia, he is asking, if I'm riding in an Uber pool, which is ride share, they call it Uber pool, ride share, and we get pulled over and a passenger that I didn't know gets belligerent with the cops, are we all in trouble? Okay, let me tell you, I'm from the south side of Phoenix. Everybody I know acts belligerent, right? No, we're not doing that. I'm in the car. I'm riding in a car. I'm a passenger in the car. That's not my problem that the other two Uber people are getting mad and getting belligerent with the cops. That does not, see now I almost stood up on this, I stay turned up. That does not give the police officer reasonable suspicion that elevates to probable cause to think that a crime is being committed, that I'm committing a crime. That is on that passenger. That has nothing to do with me, okay? So his belligerence doesn't overflow to me being searched or me being seized. Officer, am I free to leave? If he says, no, let me have your ID. Can I see your ID? Can I see your license? What? No, I'm a passenger. No, you cannot because it's a question. I hope that answered your question. I think your name was John. So basically, I had another, I'll tell you guys about this situation and then you can send in more questions. I had another situation this week where I'm like getting all these Uber situations. The guy called Uber, the Uber driver came, and then all of a sudden when the Uber driver came, the Uber driver told him, sit in the back seat. That was fine or whatever. And when he got in the back seat, he basically the Uber driver got pulled over for speeding. Okay, so the officer is behind him. Now that gives the officer reasonable suspicion that he committed a traffic violation. Okay, so he pulls the Uber driver over. He gives the Uber driver a ticket, right, for speeding. Then he asks my guy in the back seat to step out of the car. For what? For what? Because he has dreadlocks? For what? What reason? I don't understand. So my guy, instead of calling me, because you guys know I do on-site, real-time, in the moment, police traffic stop advice consultations, did not call. One of the numbers you should memorize is 8555 She-Law. He would have been good if he would have called me, because I would have advised him and been directing him as we go. He says, yes, I'll get out the car. So he gets out the car. The officer asks him, can I search you? Instead of him saying no, no, I don't consent to this, he gets out of the car and the officer searches him. But guess what? The officer, for some reason, I don't know, does not find any of the, let's just say, drugs in his wallet. So the officer realizes after he gives him his license that he has a pending warrant, goes to the system in the car, checks the system, he has a warrant, and then basically takes him into custody because he has a warrant now. So now, because he's been arrested, he can search him, okay? So he then takes him to the station, and when he gets to the station, the jail didn't realize that he had drugs on him in his wallet. The officer on the scene, he just got lucky. That's what it's called. It's called God, really, right? He gets charged with a felony. Anytime, this is information you guys need to know, anytime that you do have drugs on you and the officer doesn't find it and you get to the jail and you cross the lines of the jail, that is a felony. It's called crossing guard lines. So he's now charged with a felony. All this could have been prevented, let's say, way back if he didn't have the drugs, right? But let's say if he would have called me, because there's certain protections that he would have had to not even have had him get searched on the scene and picked up and taken to the jail. Do we have any more questions?
We do. So Felicia Hayden on Facebook asks, you really can refuse to answer a police officer's question or get out if you didn't do anything? Do you just keep your mouth shut or should you cite some statute?
No. Hey, Felicia. Okay, so you asked me a question right now, right? It's called not answering. Just plain and simple. I don't have to answer you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to answer you. I'm not going to give you a hint. I'm not going to admit guilt. The police officer's whole point is to bring charges. Why am I going to excitedly utter or give you a reason to tell the officer that I committed a crime? He doesn't have to Mirandize you if you talk first, right? So people think that, oh, I have to be Mirandized right away. No, you don't have to be Mirandized. Arizona versus Miranda. Hey, no, you don't have to be Mirandized if you're the one giving up information. So yes, be quiet. Don't talk. Can I see your license, Felicia? For what? I'm in the backseat I'm in the backseat of a car. You're thinking this. You're not saying this because guess what? When I get the police report, it's going to say this. But now, Felicia, let me make sure I carefully divide this. If you're the driver and you get pulled over for a traffic citation, yes, you have to give the officer your license, your registration, your insurance. You guys stay tuned because my team right now, we're in the process of trademarking some things in regards to some really, really good things. I'm going to get you guys out and get some things to the public so you'll know what to do on the spot, on the scene. But to answer your question directly, no. If you're the driver, you commit a traffic violation, give them your information. If you're the passenger in a car, no, I'm not stepping out the car. I'm not. Am I free to leave? Right? If he says, no, you're not free to leave, okay. It's that plain and simple. No, you think that just because you are helping the police or answering their questions that you're being a goody good. No. And then call me. Make sure you memorize the number 855. It's 3 5s. 855 She, like Shequel, SHE, law. And if you are stopped on the scene and you're nervous, last week I had somebody, it was 8 officers surrounding one of my guys. He was coming home in the middle of the night. You know who you are if you're watching. He called me on the spot. The officers made him get out the car. They're claiming they're looking for another Caucasian guy that looks just like him. He called me on the scene. Okay, does he have to get out the car? Give him your license, your registration, and your insurance. I asked the officer, I said, hey, why is he stepping out the car? Because they smell marijuana. My dude don't even smoke marijuana. He's coming home from working construction. He smells like I-85 bridge. He doesn't have marijuana on him. Okay? So that's overkill, but I like to basically get as much information as I can out there. Okay, Richard from Texas. I ride Lyft frequently, and just so you guys know, Lyft is another kind of like private cab service. It's just like Uber, for those of you who don't know. So Richard from Texas is saying, I ride Lyft frequently. Do I have rights if they smoke? I'm concerned about my health. Okay, so I'm going to answer this in twofold because I'm not too sure what you're talking about, Richard. So if somebody gets in the car and they are smoking, or let's say they are committing another offense and they got white on them, or I don't know, they got bricks in their trap bag, in their backpack, in their trap pack. That's a trademark right there. All right, my doughboys. You see my little doughboy keychain. But anyways, if you're in the passenger seat or the back seat, and all of a sudden someone gets in the car with you and they are smoking, like I said, remember what I said, Uber, they have anti-drug laws, laws that you can't even commit in the car. So if you're violating laws, you can't be doing that. Make sure you just tap the Uber driver, hey, I don't want to take this ride. Can you call another ride? Because yes, if something happens or if a police officer pulls up behind you, now there's probable cause because they think a crime is being committed, or reasonable suspicion to think a crime is committed. They approach, they smell marijuana. They don't know where it's coming from. Okay, everybody's getting out the car and everybody's getting searched. Okay, so if you're concerned about your health, I would take another ride. But if it's more so whether or not you're going to get searched, yes, all of you guys potentially may get searched. I hope that answers your question, Richard.
You're getting love on Instagram from Bree _ pretty. She is showing much love for you. Top flight _ Miss Kelly says, I have never ever met a defense attorney as passionate as Shequel, and she knows her ish.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Miss Kelly.
We have another question.
Brittany.
From Lock _Ness _Boombox. It's not Uber related, but if you've got a moment, you could possibly answer the question for him. A citizen may or may not have been arrested in Florida in 2003 for racketeering and conspiracy. May these charges be sealed?
Okay, so what state is this? You said Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I wish I was licensed in Florida. I wish. She-Law is going to be all over the world, right? But as of right now, I'm Georgia based. But what I would say is, as it relates to Georgia, and your state might have the same rules, I want everybody to understand this. If you commit a crime and it's your first offense, something may have been passed in that state to where you could take out. Here it's called first offender. In other states, it may be called something else. Ask your local prosecutor or ask your local, just look up the law in your state, first offense crimes or first offense pleas. See if you could plead to something where it doesn't go on your record. Because if you complete that probation term, yes, after you've completed the term, the term of probation, then your record can be restricted if you apply to get it restricted. And yes, it will come off your record. There are 3 types of checks maybe an employer may do, maybe certain people may do. There's what's called a background check. There's a court records check. And then you have what is called an internet-based check. So anytime you commit a crime, whether Florida, whether New York, Georgia, whether Arizona, make sure that if that sentence allows you to take first offender or any type of sentence where the record can be sealed, you go through the full process of getting it restricted off your record. A lot of people think, oh, I took this plea, I'm thinking it's over, I'm thinking that I don't have to do anything else. No, to get it fully sealed, you have to go through the sealing process in that state. And you have to, it's state specific. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and what you have to do. So make sure that you Google that, ask your local prosecutor, so that way you can get your record expunged in the end after the term of the sentence is over. Okay, I hope that helped. Okay. Do we have another question? Okay. Hey, Monique from LA, West Coast, right? Okay, can the cops check your luggage if they pull over your Lyft or Uber driver for reckless driving? No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Monique. No, ma'am. No, I'm a passenger. I'm assuming that you're in the back seat. You're on your way. You have luggage. I don't know if you toting in the luggage, right? But it better be closed. Right? Okay, but let's say for an example, you're driving, you get picked up by Uber, you're in the back seat. The cops get pulled over for reckless driving. That's a traffic citation. That gives the officers reasonable suspicion that a traffic violation has occurred. Now the officer is going to approach the Uber driver. Or even in your regular car, your mom's driving, she's swerving, you're in the back seat. The officer, these rules don't just apply to Uber, they apply to all type of traffic stops. So your mom gets pulled over, you're in the back seat, or the Uber driver gets pulled over and you're in the back seat. The Uber driver or your mom is going to give your license, registration, and insurance. Okay, give her license, registration, and insurance. He doesn't have a reason to search your luggage. He doesn't. He's going to want to try. He's going to want to ask questions. What's in the luggage? Is anything in the luggage I should be concerned about? You're not answering questions. You could even say, Your Honor, Your Honor, let's bring it down, right? I'm sorry, I'm not asking any questions. I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions. I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions. It doesn't matter. They can ask you 900 times. I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions at this time. I'm sorry, don't offer your ID. There's no reasonable suspicion for them to want to see my ID to think that a crime is being committed or give them probable cause that something is in that luggage. So the answer is no. It just clear, plain out is no. Okay? Okay, Monique, I hope that answers your question. Hey, Casey in Michigan. Got the hand going right there. I went to law school in Michigan. Shout out to everybody in Michigan. Casey said, can I record traffic stops for my safety? Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're a girl or a guy, so excuse me. But if you are a girl, I apologize. If you're a guy, I apologize too. So yes, absolutely. There's been case law that says that officers, they're servants, right? They're there to protect and serve. Once you get pulled over, let me tell you what I do. I'm not giving you advice, but let me tell you what I do. Let's just act like my Doughboy keychain right here is a phone. Immediately, I'm taking it out. I'm recording. I'm not being belligerent, putting it in the officer's face. I record even if, I'm telling you, I could be driving down the street seeing something. If I have that much energy at the end of the day, yes, I'm going to record. I'm going to record you, okay? Because that's not committing a law. I can record you. They record me. They have a dash cam. They have a body cam. So I can record you. And you guys, there's this new YouTube, this is the funniest thing ever. A lawyer who actually got pulled over. He was an Uber driver. He got pulled over. He is driving. The guy that is in the back seat that he stops to pick up, the officers pull him over immediately. Not even for a traffic violation, but saying that the guy, the passenger that he picked up, or the backseat driver, went into a drug house. Huh? Okay. So the lawyer, who's the Uber driver, he does Uber part-time, says, you know what? I'm going to pull over. I'm going to record you. I want you guys to look this up. This is the most hilarious thing ever. This went national. It went viral. He takes out his phone. The lawyer, the Uber driver, starts recording the police officers. The officer tells him, sir, put your camera up. Put your phone up. He says, I'm not. No, thank you. I'm going to keep recording you. The officer goes around to the car, the driver's side, and says, put your phone up. Stop recording me. He says, I'm not going to do that. He keeps recording. He's smart. He's a lawyer. I want you guys to be smart as well. Keep recording. You know all this stuff that's going on right now. Keep recording. It's going to be your word against their word when you go to court. So the officer says, he goes, there's this new state law that you can't record officers. Now, he's talking to a lawyer. He said, what's the law? The officer goes, it was just passed yesterday. Really? You're telling a lawyer that a case was just passed yesterday? And it got to the police department first before the lawyer? Okay. All right. So he keeps recording. Guess what happened to that officer? He was demoted. It got back to his sergeant, whoever, the head of the police department. He was demoted, or I think put on leave. No, you can't be telling people they can't do something. I have the right to record you. And I will continue to record you. I'm not going to put it in their face or get sarcastic, but yes, I will record you from the beginning of this traffic stop until the end. Okay? I hope that answers your question, Casey. Hey, Cameron from Jonesboro, Georgia. If police pepper spray your rideshare driver and I'm affected, who do I go after for damages? The police department or Uber? Now that's kind of like a twofold question, because Uber has a responsibility to keep you safe. They have rules that are supposed to keep drivers safe on their website, rules that are supposed to keep passengers safe. Anybody who gets in that car is supposed to be kept safe. So potentially, yes, you can bring possibly a lawsuit against Uber. And then Uber may say, hey, no, that wasn't us. We didn't commit any negligence. It was the police department. By spraying this person was affected. Yes, you could sue both. Okay? So I hope that answers your question as well. Okay, we have a question coming out of Arizona. This is from, I think it's Jessica. Oh, from Tempe, Arizona State. I went to Arizona State. Big ups, right? If I notice that my Uber driver is drunk and won't let me out, is my grievance with Uber or the driver? Okay, first of all, yes, your grievance would to be, if he doesn't let you out, now we have a false imprisonment issue, right? Because you can't get out the car. Okay, so yes, I would start recording it. I would. Honestly, I would start recording a situation like that. Is your grievance with Uber? Yes, your grievance is potentially with Uber, because Uber has a guarantee on their website that they're going to keep you safe. An Uber driver who's driving drunk could potentially lose their Uber driver's license or their Uber driving rights. There's something like that on their website. I researched that as well. So the first thing you want to do is contact Uber. If something happens and you're in an accident with Uber, I would say give me a call, 855-5-SHELAW. Because I'm going to look at that as a whole to see who we would need to sue, to see who we would need to bring in as a party, to see who we would need to go after to get damages for you if you are injured from a drunk driver, it being the Uber driver in an accident. Okay, so I want to take a break. I know that you guys probably, I want to go back to something. And one of the things that I want to go back to is the 3 type of tiers when it comes to police interactions, right? So we have the first type of tier, that's just police regular encounters. That's police regular interaction. That's not being detained. I'm walking down the sidewalk, the officer approaches me. Hey, and you know, they always approach you like this. Please don't laugh. Got my heels on. They always approach you like this, right? They, you know, it's like weird. All of them. Hey, can I see your license? Can I see your registration? Or excuse me, who are you? Where are you going, buddy? No. Okay, I don't have to answer your questions. That's kind of like what Felicia asked. If a police asks me questions, do I have to answer? I'm not answering that. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going. Don't think you're being a good citizen because you're giving up information. I don't have to say anything. That's just tier number 1. Just police interaction. Think about it. When you're walking down the street and somebody asks you questions, some people don't even look up on the sidewalk to answer the questions. Now I'm really about to answer police officers' questions in just regular interactions. That's tier 1, right? Tier 2 basically is, it's not an arrest. It's an investigation type detention. An officer may detain someone without arresting them based on reasonable suspicion. So let's say, for an example, I'm walking down the sidewalk. The officer smells marijuana. You know, marijuana is thick. That's smoke it. That's thick. That's thick. And you know, if you're from Arizona, oh, okay. But anyways, okay, so basically walking down the sidewalk, officer behind you smells marijuana. Yeah, now he has reasonable suspicion to think that you may have marijuana on you or maybe smoking in front of him. Now, when he approaches you, he's investigating. That's why it's called investigatory type detention. He's now detaining you. Detaining is not an arrest. So in this type of tier, he can stop you, ask you questions, right? And that reasonable suspicion will either be dismissed if he realizes you haven't committed a crime, or elevate to probable cause, right? So now, what's the probable cause when somebody's smoking marijuana? Glassy eyes, maybe the blunt drops on the floor, different things like that. That gives the officer probable cause now to make an arrest. Now, that goes into the third tier, arrest. Now he can arrest you. When he arrests you, he can search you. He doesn't need a warrant. Anytime you're arrested, based on whether or not that it was reasonable, if you are arrested, it's what's called search incident to arrest. An officer can now search you, pockets, sleeves, reasonable, and then search you. So basically, those are the three types of tiers when it comes to police encounters.
Okay. You are getting love from several people on Facebook and Instagram right now. Loch Ness says thank you. Breaky Life on Instagram says that you're keeping it 100 and she loves it. We've got a question. Oh, Frank Anabi says go Shequel. And we've got a question from Lupe Reina. If police suspects the passenger is illegal, can they ask you for citizenship?
Hey, Lupe. ¿Cómo estás? It's me, Shequel. Okay. So that's my Latino family in Phoenix, Arizona, South Mountain. So yeah, there's an issue with that right now. As you know, I'm from Arizona. As you guys know, Arizona used to be Mexico. So there are a lot of Hispanics that live in Mexico. There's a big issue when it comes to whether or not somebody is illegal or not. Okay, first of all, if I'm driving in a car, let's say I'm the one driving, and my Hispanic family, my Latino family is in the passenger seat, the back seat. Okay, and the cops pull me over for a traffic violation. The crime or the what has occurred is a traffic violation. Let's focus on that. They stopped me because they had reasonable suspicion that a traffic violation occurred. Let's just keep it simple. They approached the car. They asked Miss Lupe to get out. For what? For what? Okay, can I see your ID? You're not driving. You haven't committed a crime. There's nothing that you did. That's that first type of encounter, right? I'm not going to volunteer my ID. Hey, officer, I know you're running the driver's information. Here's my ID. Okay, I want to show you that I am or am not illegal. No, we're not doing that. No, you can be quiet. You don't have to talk. You have not committed a crime. Okay, because if you talk and you say the wrong thing, you may or may not be, searched. ICE might come. You might get deported. So my thing is, in that situation, give me a call, 855-5-SHE-LAW. And then at that moment, I will be able to help you on site. But Ms. Lupe, you're good. You don't even have to worry about that. You already know. So do we have any other questions? Okay, so I kind of drew a diagram for you guys. I wanted to make sure that I want to hone this in really clear. This is my Apollo Aero car. Anybody know things about cars? When I was growing up, one of the things my dad, Hubert Ross in Arizona, we always went to car shows, right? So I know about cars, so basically this is my Apollo Aero. Google that car. Okay, so, and don't laugh. Let me see. Can you guys see this? Okay, so here we have, drop top, of course, sunroof, right? But here's the driver. Here's the driver in an actual Uber car or the driver in a car. It doesn't matter. The driver in a truck, the driver in anything. He gets pulled over. Some people are visual, so I want to show this. That's how I got through law school, because I'm very visual. I didn't know what the professor was saying for the 3 hours. I went home, I diagrammed everything. You'll never forget this, right? Those of you who are visual. The driver gets pulled over for a traffic citation, okay? The driver, after he gets pulled over, he should give the officer the license, registration, and insurance. He's going to approach the car. Do you know why I stopped you? No, I don't. This is information for the driver. Those of you who are driving. I'm going to address the other ones. Okay? No, I don't know why you stopped me. Can I have your license, registration, and insurance? You should already have it ready. Here you go. Window barely cracked. There's no law that says you have to roll both windows down. In fact, there's new case law that says you don't have to roll both windows down at the same time. It's really, really funny. A Latino guy on YouTube, he gets pulled over, right? The officers want him to roll both windows down. And if you know anybody who smokes marijuana, they know what they know why officers want you to roll both windows down. Okay, he's like, I'm not doing that. The officer goes to one side, he rolls this window down. The officer goes to the other side, rolls that window up. You could roll it barely down, give your license, registration, and insurance. That's what he does, right? Let's call him A, the driver. Another officer we already know is going to approach this passenger. Hey, where are you guys coming from? Hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, where are you guys going? Hey, where are you guys getting ready to go? Hey, all these questions, right? If this is me, I'm being silent. I'm not answering your questions. I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm not going to volunteer. I'm not going to tell you that my friend has bricks in the truck. I'm not going to tell you that the drivers in the back seat are all illegal. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm not going to volunteer to help you with your police report. I'm going to stay silent. The crime or the traffic citation is against the driver, right? So I'm going to stay silent. That's for the passenger, right? He says, can I have your ID? No, I didn't commit a crime. Okay. Now these for the people in the back seat, basically, now let's say for an example, I'm gonna give you two scenarios. The officer says, I smell marijuana, right? Now that's different because the officer now does not know where the marijuana is coming from. There might be reasonable suspicion to think that marijuana is coming from the driver's side. Maybe he's fidgety. Maybe he's rambling. Maybe a blunt falls. Now the officer can't search your car if he just thinks he smells marijuana. It depends on if it's raw marijuana or burnt marijuana. There's laws in regards to that too. But these people in the back seat, now they might get searched because the officer smells marijuana. He's going to ask all you guys to get out the car. But the main thing is this driver, anybody who you're driving with, make sure they just know their rights. Passengers, make sure you know your rights. Backseat drivers, make sure you know your rights. You don't have to talk. Passenger, you don't have to talk. Backseat drivers, you don't have to talk. The driver, license, registration, and insurance. Shut it down. That's enough. Okay? All right. Do we have any more questions?
We got one more question from Facebook. Just asking, are children covered in the event that a police officer pulls us over? I don't know what that means.
You said,
are children covered? So basically, do the children have to be pulled out of the car if there's a traffic stop or if there's suspicion of any?
Are the children in the back seat or are the children, did he say in the back seat?
Yeah, all the kids will be in the back seat.
Okay, so you're driving, you're the mom or the father driving in the driver's seat and your kids are in the back seat. No, I wish you would touch my kids. I mean, let's not say that, that wish theory, you remember? No, my kids are not getting out the car. My kids did not commit any violation. There's no probable cause to think that a crime occurred, right? So the answer is no. Okay, and let me define to you what probable cause is. Probable cause is a reasonable belief that a crime has occurred. That's probable cause. It's real simple, right? Just remember that. Probable cause. Just remember in the C, it's that a crime has occurred. So your kids haven't committed a crime in the back seat, right? No one's getting out the car. No one's consenting to a search. We're not going to wait for you to bring your dogs. We're not doing that. Officer, here's my license, registration, and insurance. Whether you're in Uber, whether you're in your dad's car, whether you're in your Maserati, whether you're in your Tesla, Model X, Model 3, Model S, it doesn't matter. You are not, whether in your Porsche Cheyenne, it doesn't matter. Whether you were in your Bucket or your Oldsmobile 19, my first car was a Cutlass. I kept it West Coast, white wall, right? On the wheels, okay? I'm not getting out of no car. My kids aren't getting out the car. But my cousins that I ride with are not getting out the car. Okay? No. Officer, am I free to leave? And you assert that you know your rights. Don't be, all hood with it. What? No. Officer, here's my license, my registration, and my insurance out the window. Can I help you? Am I free to leave when the traffic check is over? All right, thank you. Step out of the car. Step out of the car now. Have your kid step out. Officer, am I free to leave? I would start recording. I would tell the officer, hey, be safe though. I'm going to start recording you. Okay? I hope that answered your question. So basically, hey, also, one last thing I want to share with you guys is that, remember we talked about 3 different type of police encounters. Them asking you regular questions, just coming up to you, asking you questions. That's tier 1. I don't have to answer any questions. I haven't committed a crime. You're just asking me something. I'm with a group of people. Hey, what's your name too? This is basically, it's called the silent face in tier 1. I'm not answering your questions. Okay? Tier 2 is a reasonable suspicion. So they're gonna detain you. They think a crime is committed. Either that suspicion is gonna go up to probable cause. Now they can arrest you, tier 3, or it's gonna be diminished and they can let you go, right? And now in that you have to show your ID. You have to cooperate. Okay? Now let's say for an example, we are in tier 2 where they think a crime is being committed or there's reasonable suspicion. They can Terry stop you and they can pat you down, right? Just a quick little Terry stop. Not bunching and going in your pockets. They could possibly, there's case law, that's why I say possibly, pat you down. It's called for the officer's safety. They can do that, all right? And they're in tier 3, you've been arrested. So just know they can fully pat you down. They could fully search you. And you could be after you're arrested and you're going to jail. But you're going to call me. You're going to call me. Because I'm going to check to see if that stop was reasonable. If that stop violated your constitutional rights. If that stop warranted a search. If that stop warranted you being seized. Okay? And the number again is 855-5-SHE-LAW. You can find me on Facebook at Shequel Ross. My YouTube channel is Shequel Ross or She Law Firm. And at She, okay, we have another question.
We've got on Instagram, KNHC_LLC. So if a driver gets pulled over, they weren't speeding, everything on the car is legit. There's a driver and a passenger in the car with a child. Did they have a right to stop the vehicle?
No. Wait, you're saying that they did not commit a traffic violation?
They were not speeding and everything on the car was legitimate.
No. That's not going to work. Sorry. You just answered your own question. You're really smart, but I can understand why you would ask that because the officers use all kind of little tricky tactics to get in your car. So you say you're driving, it's 2 people, 2 adults, and the kids or somebody's in the back seat or I kind of didn't understand the question, but and you weren't speeding, but no. He stopped you? No. Okay. I'm still going to give you my license, my registration, and my insurance. Hey, do you know why I stopped you? No. I'm already going to have it ready. License, registration. Just get it ready. License, registration, and insurance. We ain't having that. We're not doing that. You know why I stopped you? Yeah, because my kids aren't in the seatbelt. I'm not going to put your kids in the seatbelt. Yeah, because I have bricks in the back trunk. Don't be riding around with bricks in the back trunk. Yeah, because we just finished smoking a blunt. We're not cooperating. We're not telling the officer anything. Okay, so no, you have not committed a crime if you have not sped, if you have not committed a traffic violation. Now, if you're swerving and the officer pulls you over, now he has reasonable suspicion to think maybe there's a DUI or think maybe somebody is doing drugs in the car. So when he pulls you over, he's going to look for probable cause to try to search the car. That's why you keep the window barely cracked. Here's my license, registration, and insurance. He's going to run it, come back. You don't have a warrant. Your other person doesn't have a warrant. You're free to go. You're free to go. And at that time, you call me on the spot. 855-5-SHE-LAW. Call me on the spot. My team stands by 24 hours a day to answer your questions. I don't care if it's a raid. I don't care if you're getting pulled over. I don't sleep because I'm here for you guys. You call me on the spot. You call me if they come to your house, they don't have a warrant. You call me if you're in the car. You call me when you get to the school and your child is being arrested. You call me when you're at the fair and the officer, I don't care where you're at. You call me at Kroger. You call me in Arizona, it's called Fry's. Call me and I will make sure on the spot at that scene that everything goes okay. And one of the main things is, seriously, I will talk to the officer. They talk back to me, right? I'll talk to them and I'll ask them, is there a warrant? Why are you pulling this person over? And I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to be funny and maybe God just grants me favor. All those traffic stops that I've done and advised people on the scene, those dudes have left. Those girls have been on their way. No, we're not going to play those games. Or if it doesn't work, I will be filing a motion to suppress the stop. If the stop was illegal, point blank. See, you got me turned up. It's 8 o'clock at night. You got me turned up. But anyway, so yeah, you can follow me on, you could go to my website, www.shelawfirm.com, on Instagram and Twitter, at She Law Office, on Facebook, Shequel Ross, it's ShequelRoss. My fan page, my law firm page is the Law Offices of Shequel. Let's see. You guys stay tuned because I have some really cool things that are coming. I'm trademarking a couple of things right now. I'm in the process. And basically, I'm going to get it out to you guys. There will be no more I don't knows. You will be able to know when you get pulled over. You're going to be able to know what to do. Yeah, you see how we do. It doesn't matter, right? I'm getting the information out. I'm here 8 o'clock at night. I'm not playing with this. You will know. By the time I'm finished and I hit the world, you will be able to know. Y'all gonna start having seminars yourself on traffic stops. Okay? I'm not charging for this. You know how much attorneys get paid an hour? I'm getting this information out to you for free. So the next topic, whatever you guys want me to talk about, my team, they're watching online. They're checking all my pages. I have several cameras up right now, making sure that everything is captured. Tell me what you want me to talk about. The last couple of people said Uber. I have some topics that are coming up. It could be about traffic stops. It could be about battery. It could be about an assault. It could be about a contract. I do criminal defense, civil rights, and business law, but mainly criminal defense. You let me know what it is you want me to talk about, okay? And I will make sure I get the information out to you. If there are any other questions, please feel free to just send it to me and I'll make sure that I respond. Bye!